What is good, JayMike Tech Talk? And today we're going to take a look at the brand spanking new Nemeziz 18 Plus 360 Agility from Adidas, which, as you can probably see, has received a little bit of a facelift instead of the big complete revamp that we saw on the Adidas X. Now, the most obvious new addition here is, of course, the color that you can see popping a bit here, but also, in my opinion, that's actually not the biggest deal when it comes to the new tech. So today, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about the new Nemeziz. The Nemeziz 18 Plus is based on the same tech stuff as the Nemeziz 17 Plus, which means that Adidas are using the idea of going in to help players improve their agility by looking at how boxers and ballet dancers and martial artists try to use medical taping around their legs and their limbs to make them stronger and more agile. And thus, the new Nemeziz 18 Plus uses the 360 agility bandage technology that's based around the Torsiontape bands here. And basically, it's a very, very long piece of this elasticated rubber bandage that you then wrap around your foot like you would normally wrap it with medical taping, basically to give you a very good fit and then also a supportive lockdown, so in theory, you're not gonna need any laces. At least, that's what Adidas is saying. And while the idea and the functionality of the tape hasn't changed a whole lot, Adidas have updated the weave structure on top of the tape itself. So instead of these linear lines on the old Torsiontape, they've now used a zigzag-like pattern that makes the Torsiontape feel a little bit more plush. And now we're speaking of plushness, another new thing Adidas have done is to incorporate a plush thin mesh foam liner here under the area where the tongue would normally be, to give you a little bit more of a comfortable sensation on the top of the boot. Then of course there is the big thing, of course, the collar here, which is once again made of torsion tape. And it's been made high, but also asymmetrical, so you get a little bit of a better sensation of support on the inside, but keep the freedom of mobility on the outside around the ankle bone. And obviously, Adidas also want to tell the story of this medical taping that wraps around the center of the foot and then continues up the ankle and up your leg. You could also argue that Adidas did it to make the silhouette of the Nemeziz a bit more visible and iconic and of course commercial. But I guess that one is up for interpretation. But the biggest change for me is actually on the toebox, where Adidas not only decided to enlarge the area of the textile material itself, but they also decided to kill off their Agilityknit 2.0, and instead they went with this, which is called Agilityknit and is a 3D woven textile that actually uses the jacquard weaving technique, which is the finest and the most complicated weaving technique that you can more or less use. And what it does is that it allows Adidas to go in and really engineer the 3D pattern into the weave itself, instead of just painting the zigzag pattern on. And that means that the material is a lot thinner and also a whole lot softer than Agilityknit 2.0 was. And then of course, it's on a larger area. But on the other hand, it's also less textured, which means that Nemeziz 18 Plus has a more smooth and less grippy feel on the ball than the 17 Plus did. But hey, on the other hand, at least they listened to the feedback from the first generation that the Agilityknit was simply too stiff. Well, this definitely isn't. And on foot, you definitely feel a difference. The toebox is a lot softer than on the first generation of the Nemeziz, and the foam underneath the tongue area is also pretty evident. It's nice and it's very, very comfortable, but it also means that it leaves a little bit less space inside the boot compared to the previous generation. Then of course, there is the color. To be honest, I don't really care that much about it, but I guess that if you like the sensation of a sock collar around your ankle, it's nice to have, and at least it's never really in the way. So what you get is a slightly more comfortable strapped-in experience like the first Nemeziz if you go true to size. But I do also feel that the new generation of the Nemeziz is a little bit less forgiving for wide feet compared to the previous one. Now flipping over the Nemeziz 18 Plus and looking at the soleplate, you can see that the boot has received a grand total of 0 updates compared back to the 17 Plus because it is completely the same plate. We've got the torsion bars here under the midfoot to make it more responsive, but then Adidas have gone with their half-moon shaped studs here to give you the rotational maneuverability on the outside, and then a larger, flatter surface on the inside to give you a bigger surface to transfer energy to the ground when you want to accelerate. And admittedly, it's a nice plate. There's no reason to change it. It's nice, it's responsive, it works well when you want to push off, but there isn't much new under the sun. So, you've heard the tech specs, you've seen the Nemeziz 18 Plus on foot, but should you go and spend your €300 on it? Well, here's a 30-second cop or drop breakdown to hopefully help you decide. So why should you cop it then? Well, it's got a great tight and streamlined fit. It's lovely and uninterrupted on the ball, and it makes you feel on your toes, like a ballet dancer. Why drop it then? Well, the lockdown isn't as good as in boots with laces. There isn't crazy amounts of grip on the ball, and the collar really doesn't do that much. But in the end, it's a great fitting boot that's a lot of fun to play with. It makes you feel ready and is amazing if you love to dribble. And if you want the lockdown, there's always the 18.1. And that's the way it is. So there you go, my friends, the new and, should we say, taller Adidas Nemeziz 18 Plus 360 Agility. It's still got a very long name, but with that said, it's ready to take the stage at the World Cup. And I actually think it's a pretty decent update. To be honest with you guys, I'm probably gonna go with the low-cut 18.1s because I'm not 100% sure I really need the color, and also, I like my laces to get that extra little bit of lockdown. But what do you guys think about the new Nemeziz? Is the color a hit or a miss? As always, you should let me know in the comment section right down below. Of course, also, if you fancy a pair of the Nemeziz 18 Plus or the 18.1s for yourself, you can go grab a pair from Unisport store by clicking the link right over there. Go get them on your feet. Also, if you want to check out our playtest of the Adidas World Cup pack, you can click the video right down there. And finally, don't forget to join the Unisport Live family by subscribing to our channel with the notifications on to not miss a single of our epic videos. And with that said, guys, I'm gonna sign off. Cheerio.